Hi, Katie.
Hi.
Okay, what is that thing that you have on your right?
This thing here is my new Cintiq 13 HD.
We can assume that people know what a Cintiq is if they're watching this video.
Well, I would hope so.
But they may not know about the display toggle button. So, let's explain that first. So, draw directly on the screen as Katie was doing. And now, she has a MacBook Pro on the left also. What happens if she wants to use the Cintiq as a tablet for the MacBook Pro?
Well, then I have to click my little mapped display toggle button. So now I'm mousing over here.
Which could be mapped to any button on the Cintiq, right?
Yes.
Okay.
As far as I know.
So now the entire Cintiq is mapped to the MacBook Pro, and there are things you can do with using a portion of it or something. But basically, you control your desktop or the other displays using the Cintiq as a tablet, basically, right? Okay. So she's dragging a window. Now, to get that window over to the Cintiq, presses that button and it kind of teleports. Does it work the other way? Okay, so as you saw, it's a little bit wonky, where it first snapped in one place, and then after she started wiggling it, it was moved to the other screen. So there's that. It's also a bit slow to use, that display toggle button, right?
Yes.
And there are other reasons why, like the UI is pretty small on the Cintiq itself because it's such a high-density display, right?
Yes, it's a little too small to be really usable. If I have my little toolbar over here, everything's pretty tiny.
I mean, it's great for painting on.
Yes.
You'll see that in other people's reviews. That's not what we're going into here. But what we are going into is how you can use another Wacom tablet, another Intuos. We have the 4, but it doesn't really matter which one, I think, as long as you can use the same pen on both. So we're using that to, or Katie is using that right now, to avoid having to use the display toggle button, basically, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us about how are you doing that.
So, right now I have my screens mapped like so. And,
What is like so?
well, they're next to each other.
You can see, yeah,
the
there's
screen
display
arrangement.
preferences, yeah.
So it's an approximation of my screen arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
And then in my tablet settings over here for my Intuos 4.
It's going to be a bit difficult to see this in the video.
Yeah. If you go into mapping, you can map. Right now I have it mapped to a portion of my tablet.
Okay, so you're mapping. You have your entire desktop mapped to the tablet,
right?
And then only the Cintiq alone. The Cintiq is just the Cintiq. Whenever you're using the pen on that, then you're only using it directly there, right?
Right.
But if you wanted to use UI in the Cintiq, or for whatever reason you wanted to use the tablet to affect a portion of the Cintiq, you can now do that. I mean, you could probably always do that. We didn't know this because we never have seen a video of anybody doing this before, but you mapped it to a portion. We're always forcing proportions. The force proportions checkbox keeps the aspect ratio of the screen correct on the tablet, so there's no stretching of shapes. I think otherwise it would be pretty weird. But we have to use a portion of the tablet so that Katie's hand doesn't hit the screen, basically, right?
Yeah. So I just keep it down here, and then I can pull this forward just like a little bit.
So what is it exactly resting upon? What all are you using to make this comfortable for yourself?
Well, this is an M stand by, I think it's Rain Design. And then on the bottom of my Intuos, I have Cool Feet by Blue Lounge. I also have the littler matching portions holding up my MacBook Pro on the back here.
So the Cool Feet are probably a good bet. The stand is just something that our friend had and he wasn't using anymore. Yeah. So there may be something better for it, but it seems pretty well set up for this purpose, at least for Katie's proportions. So talk about how tall you are and everything. Like, you have a kneeling chair?
Yeah, I have a kneeling chair. I'm only like 5 feet tall, so I'm really quite tiny.
But I'm like 5'9", and it seems to work for me also, so it might not really matter. You might just have to adjust the chair.
Yeah.
So that's how things work in landscape mode. So let's talk about portrait mode now.
So if I want to switch to, like, drawing vertically, I just flip down my little tab here. This comes with the Intuos.
Yeah, the stand is shown in other people's videos and Wacom's own videos about the stand.
And then I'd go into my display settings. If you're using a Mac, your display settings. And you go over here to the Cintiq, and you say you wanted it 270. So I have the cable coming out of the top there. And then you need to confirm it. They give you like 15 seconds or something to confirm it. And now everything's lined properly, and my Intuos is still working over here.
And in the show that button that you had to go to the set, I think you press I on the tablet itself. There's just a quick shortcut to go to the system preferences.
So you can
Wacom settings right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now, if you we kept it on portion, and now it's using way too little of the tablet, right?
So I can go just switch it to full, and now it's more easily navigable.
So you can't really see the cursor in this video, so talk about, like, maybe move your hand along the area on the tablet that is mapped to each screen now.
So, like, this portion here, can you see that?
Yeah.
Alright, is, like, mapped to
The Cintiq.
And then this portion over here is mapped
to the MacBook Pro, and then there's going to be another monitor, which, when we get a newer MacBook Pro that has the ability to power multiple external monitors, then that would be in another section of the tablet.
Right.
Okay, and then, yeah, so Katie is not one to just wouldn't be one to just use the buttons on the Cintiq like some people might do. They're harder to press than keys, and they can't do as much as a keyboard can. So Katie's right-handed. She's going to use the MacBook Pro with her left hand, the keys on that.
So it'd be like this, and I'd be using my brush and my crop tool.
Stuff like that.
Oh my god!
All right, so I think that shows people what they need to know about how they could potentially use these two devices together. Let's talk about the drawbacks that we have here. So there's a delay, right?
There is a little bit of delay if you're like...
The switching between the two.
Yeah, if you're over here, and then you want to switch to over here, it just takes a minute for...
It's not a minute. Go ahead and put your cursor on the Cintiq. Now the Cintiq, when you put the cursor there, after having been on the Intuos, it seems to appear immediately, close enough that a human can't really tell the difference, right?
Yeah. Okay,
so it's ready to go. The pen's always ready to go as soon as you get over there. But then, so you move your mouse, you move between the two, and then say, tell us when it appears.
Okay, and now.
Again?
And now.
Okay, so it's not too long. It's usable, but it would be nice if that delay was not there. I'm hoping this is something that can be corrected with software from Wacom. And the pen. Let's talk about this pen. Came in a pretty nice case. This is also, shown in other videos and product shots and whatever. It feels pretty comfortable, but...
It is not a 60 pen.
Yeah. So, for years and years, I guess forever, Wacom has offered a 6-dimensional pen which has rotation, and that's what Katie uses normally. They call it the Art Pen now, I believe.
Right. So that you can,
But the Art Pen costs, I think, like $30 more if you were to buy it instead of a replacement pen for one of these things. So why Wacom just doesn't charge the extra $30, or if everybody is paying that, it'd probably be more like $15 to $20. Why they can't just include a 60 pen for everybody now and make you buy an extra one, I don't know. I hate that. Like, would we have really not bought this $1,000 thing if it was $1,020? I don't think so. So that's a stupid decision. But, we're used to that by now. So it did come with this cool thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not, the stand itself is not new, but you can't probably tell in this video filmed on an iPhone, but it is matte black as opposed to the glossy black that we have had from the Art Pen came with a glossy one, and so did the Intuos 4. So it's cool. We like that. And one more drawback. Where's the port? There's a USB port. Mm-hmm. USB port does not power an iPad. We have an iPad 3rd and 4th generation. I don't know about the older ones, but I think it would probably be the same. It will not power that. So we have to, use a USB port for this particular thing. It would be nice, normally maybe to, have on that corner of Katie's desk the iPad sitting there for charging. Doesn't work. Why this thing gets its own power and can't supply enough voltage to power that? I don't know. It's probably not a big deal. Like, it's not that's not gonna cause us to send it back, but it would be nice if it did. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Cool.
It's pretty cool.
Thanks.